welcome to the ToV Backstage for the ToV podcast. What episode are we on, Joe? I think 71, right? I think it's 71. I think it's 71.
For Backstage, or we're talking about the podcast? The podcast.
Yeah, podcast, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
podcast. We don't know. The man just got married. Why should he know? He's...
let's see. Last time we did a special event which is Star Wars related, which we don't count.
Yeah. No,
and then right before that we did.
Yeah, so it's 71.
A Classicscape characters. So that was 70. So yes, 71.
Yeah, 71. And so for this 71, we will be doing some Thorman's journal reading. Because we seem to...
All right, back to the journals.
Yeah, we do Thorman's journal reading and stuff.
So that would be 34 and 35.
34 and 35, and that will end that batch of stuff that will get down to the end. And then I think after that we have... Oh, what is it? And I haven't recovered from driving back from New Jersey yet. I mean, I slept last night, but I was working all day. Matter of fact, I was working just before you came on here, and then as soon as we get off, I got to work some more because I have to finish this stuff by morning time tomorrow.
Sure.
But I have something in my teeth. I think it's a seed. But yeah, so we still have... Oh, okay. So we still have 2 more sets of stuff. So from 36 to whatever this is. I know these are... The description of this is just the numbers are off. But anyway. Yeah, so it'll be 34 and 35 to end that. Well, okay, travels and travails entries, basically that whole segment, those last 2 entries, and then after that we will move on to the Swarm of the Morrow entries, and then after that bunch, from I think it's 36 to 45, then after that bunch it would be Aquila's Alliance entries, and then that would end all of the original canon stuff. So we still have a ways to go. We're doing 2 or 3 at a time.
But we're almost done.
We're getting there.
And yet I'm still lost. Is that okay?
That's okay. I am too. Because some segment of the time we don't have our lore master with us sometimes because the man is extremely busy.
Yeah.
Doing things.
I feel like I definitely have to, once we do finish, I do have to rewatch through all of our segments and listen
we have
to
make it make sense.
Yeah, we need to figure out what is the overarching story? Is it just simply he goes here, meets a guy, oh cool, this is a cool location, all right, goes to the next location, and it's it doesn't really have an overarching story. I guess this definitely feels like what the journal entries, what we're getting now with the scenarios. Mm-hmm. So they are going the same route. It feels like it's week by week, and we're figuring this shit out, and it's not.
The scenario for this month is really, really good. It's really, really fun because now you know how Volorak comes into play and is very, very interesting character from Hockeland, from that big island continent out there that looks like Greenland, but it's Hockeland,
Yeah.
And actually, okay, yeah, on my map, it's right there. I point to it. It's right there on the map. Point it to it right now. Right there. Hockeland.
All right, so episode 71 will premiere on, drumroll please, the 18th of May.
That would be... Wait, I gotta go relook at my calendar. That would be... Where are we at? Oh, we're in May. Yeah, that'll be 18th. Yep.
Do we have a shout out or some sort of...
Yes, we do.
Okay, what's up? What'd you find?
Well, Board Hero. We know Board Hero, right?
Okay.
Yes. I already gave him a shout out. He's already got, following and all that stuff. But he split his YouTube channel to another YouTube channel. So he has his main Board Hero where he's going to show actually content of his wood crafting abilities and all what he designs, game tables and stuff to sell on Etsy or whatever. And he's focused, so that's going to be his focus on that channel. And then he has a new channel, which I can share or you can find, called Board Hero Valhalla, which will focus on the HeroScape side of things. So I want to give a shout out for that channel because it doesn't have many subscribers. I think it needs some attention. That's where his HeroScape content is going to be now in the future. So do want to give him that nod.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I like it, and if it has Valhalla at the end of it, it's like if it has
it's one of the 4 words that you can only use.
It's Valhalla at the end. I'm okay with that. So we have that.
All right, cool. So we got Board Hero Valhalla. We have entry 34 and 35. We got comments. So reminder, go find some comments for us to comment on. And
before we
that's the show.
And before we get into working converse, I do have something to show you actually. Because for all of to disclose this, I did go to New Jersey this past weekend at the time of us recording this backstage, and I attended Joe's wedding. It was really fun. It was, we didn't realize it, but we really needed to get away from the house and everything, and the little hotel that we stayed in along this beach, this New Jersey beach. It was basically a tourist city. It really was. It was made for tourism. It was very safe. It was very well kept up. I mean, there was parks and stuff everywhere. And so we really just decompressed a little bit when we showed up, because your guys' wedding was that Saturday afternoon, but we showed up Friday evening, and it was really, really nice. We actually on that Saturday day, we ended up walking like I think my wife said 6 miles.
Oh wow!
So that's why we were kind of tired. We kind of did that because we kind of overdid it that day. It was just because we're just like, okay, we wanted to see, and I guess I'll blame myself on this too, because I thought it would be a great idea because my wife suggested, let's walk down the beach a little bit and explore. I'm like, well, it's like, well, it's not that far, in quotations, not that far to the hotel where the wedding is at. So let's walk down, see how far it is, see where the location is. I ended up actually picking the wrong hotel. It was actually the hotel next to the one that I was identifying as the one that you guys were at, as being the right one. But anyway, we walked down that far on the beach, and it was a good, like, it should have been a half-hour walk, but moseyed, and so it ended up being like, instead of 30 minutes, like an hour and a half. And then we had to walk, we walked back on like the pavement, the roadside, but that ended up taking a long time too. And then so we got back and like, okay, we got to find food for lunch, and that ended up being like a couple hours too, because like, okay, there's something, because with our diet and stuff, we just don't usually get majority of the local fare they have there. So it's like, okay, there's a smoothie shop there. And so we like walked for like, maybe like 45 minutes like till you got to the boardwalk, basically. And it wasn't open. And it's like, okay, we got to scramble. But there was another shop where we got a smoothie from. And then they end up actually getting like a pizza, which actually turned out to be pretty good from one of these stands. And then we walked back. But that ended up being like a 2-hour excursion in itself, and like I said, so yeah 6 miles walked, and like in the course of like 6 hours throughout the day earlier, before even getting to the wedding. So we were already like very sore, very tired. And then we had to like, and we still got to get ready. So we had like an hour to, get ready and already from the day. So it was fun. Then getting there, and then of course I don't know if you know this, Joe, but I've been known in my past life. I've had people tell me this, where I'm very directionally challenged. Not say very directional, but I'm directionally challenged. Basically,
Okay.
I can I popped an address into Google, which I thought was where we needed to go to for the wedding, and again I did the wrong address. It was actually the hotel next door, so we parked in the wrong parking area, and we're trying to get to a building where we should not have been in. But I thought, okay, this is the address, but it wasn't, and so we went to the hotel area where it was, and my wife has to deal with this all the time, and we just like, wait, is this the place? And the people at the hotel where you guys were at, it's like, oh yes, this is the place. And it's like, you better put your car over here because you can't have it over there. Okay. And then we walk in, and I'm just like, well, I hope this is the right wedding venue, because people are fancily dressed. We just followed the crowd, and I'm just like, okay, honey, until we know for sure that this is the right wedding, I'm just considered as party crashers. We're already dressed good, so we look like we're part of the crowd. And so we sit down on the beach, and I start talking to a gentleman who's sitting right beside us, and he's like, oh, so where are you from? Well, and we're listening to the music, on the beach, and as soon as I heard like Halo music going, I'm just like, okay, either there's another nerd getting married, or this is definitely
you're in the right place.
Joe. You have just watched about 10 minutes of what is near an hour of me, Joe, planning out podcasts, talking about wedding stuff. If you want to watch the backstages in full, become a YouTube member or Patreon supporter. You can view backstages and extra content on any membership level. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the other side.